Hello and welcome back to my channel, Welshman Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing my non-spoiler review for Antman and the Wasp Quantumania. So this was directed by Peyton Reed, who directed the first Antman and Antman and the Wasp, and Paul Rudd returns as Scott Lang. Evangeline Lilly comes back as Hope Van Dyne, Scott Lang's love interest. Michael Douglas is back as Dr. Hank Pym. Michelle Pfeiffer is back as Janet Van Dyne. We also get some new guys in, as Jonathan Majors returns as Kang the Conqueror. So last time we saw him was on the last episode of Loki season 1. It is, and we also get Catherine Newton, who is the new actor to play Cassie Lang, who is Scott Lang's daughter. We also do get a nice little cameo from Bill Murray in this movie, who plays a character called Lord Kryler. So he gets a nice little couple of minutes on screen. He does. So pretty much the main story is the Langs and the Van Dynes, Hank Pym, Hope and Janet, Scott Lang and Cassie, all get sucked into the quantum realm after they send like a two-way signal into the quantum realm. And they get sucked in, get separated. Cassie and Scott get separated from the others. They do, and it's pretty much them trying to get back and trying to avoid Kang the Conqueror, who needs Pym particles to get himself back out of the quantum realm, which he was trapped in by his other selves in the multiverse war. It is. So, like I said, I think this is a good start to Phase 5. It's not a perfect movie. I got my likes and dislikes, and yeah, I did enjoy this movie overall. I think it's a typical Marvel one that's not too elevated, unfortunately. It ain't, but yeah, overall I did enjoy this. I think Peyton Reed does a pretty good job with these movies and all that, and yeah, he's done a good job here as well. I'll go into my likes and dislikes. My first likes are the visual effects. The latest Marvel movies, especially Phase 4, I think due to COVID and all that, kind of rushed a little bit for some of the CGI and all that, so it hasn't looked as good as what it has been in the previous phases. But I think in this one, it's come back to what it should be. It is. I think they've done an excellent job in this. I think visuals are very good indeed. And yeah, definitely a step up from some of the Phase 4 movies. It is. I think there's only one aspect of it that I didn't like, and I will go in when I go into my dislikes. I will explain what that is. The next one then is music. I do like the music in this movie. Not so much the when they're not in the quantum realm, that's like more generic music in it, but I do like it when they're in the quantum realm. It's a little different, more synth and all that music, similar to what Thor had in Thor Ragnarok and that. It is kind of similar to that. It is. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed the music when they were in the quantum realm. The mid and end credit scenes, which I'm not going to spoil, do set up what's going to happen probably in this Phase 5. Setting up a little bit what's going to happen, mainly probably towards the end of Phase 5 when they do Kang Dynasty, Avengers Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, the two Avengers movies for the end of this phase. So it's been a while since we've seen end credit scenes in the Marvel universe, which actually means something going forward. I think Phase 4 just had kind of throwaway ones, unfortunately, and that's been a little bit disappointing, to be honest, with the Phase 4. And my last likes, like I said, the acting was good in all this movie. They all do a stellar job, as they normally do. It is, but I think Jonathan Majors as Kang really does stand out. He hasn't really gone in between. He's menacing, but he doesn't, like he said, he talks menacing in a really soft this kind of softish voice and all that. So when he's like threatening, he's not shouting or anything like that. He's saying it normally, and it's very, very good from him and that. But when he does go berserk and scream, the emotions then really come out. He hasn't really got a middle range. It's either soft menacing or loud menacing that I saw, and I really like that and all that. And I hope we do see more of this Kang, as well as there is multiple Kangs as well going forward. So we're going to see a lot of him doing his acting chops, let's say, as a few ranges for different Kangs. So, but yeah, I thought he was really good. They didn't overpower him too much in this movie, even though he was the big bad and he's going to be the big bad of this thing. I don't think you could really push him to be that really strong this out. They could have, but I do say in one of my dislikes, they do shit out a little bit in this movie, especially the end and all that. But when I get into my dislikes, I will go into that. So that's pretty much my likes. Like I said, the acting's good. I like Paul Rudd. Catherine... I forgot her name now, sorry. Catherine Newton does a good job as Cassie Lang, who's learning her... She has a suit herself and she's still learning and that. So, yeah, Paul Rudd is... And I'll say this, and he's probably the weakest character in this film, I think, Paul Rudd. Even though he's brilliant as Antman and all that, I think the problem with this movie is the Antman and Antman and the Wasp, why I love them movies so much, especially the first Antman, is they feel a little bit grounded. So after you've seen like the big Avengers movies and the bigger movies, he's more of a smaller, no pun intended, grounded character of a movie. And Antman and the Wasp was a little bit more than that, but they just felt a little bit more grounded. And like this one's a bit more blown out. It is like an Avengers movie. You get like a big uprising in the quantum realm against Kang and his army. Very remind me a lot of Star Wars, especially the newer ones, the sequels and all that. But I think it's done a lot better, especially the last one, Rise of Skywalker, and that, where the ships come out of nowhere and it's a big battle. You kind of get that little bit of thing in this movie as well. But yeah, I don't know if my brother said this as well, and I kind of agree with him with it, that I don't think Scott Lang, he's good in a big Avengers movie when he's a bit part thing, but being in a big movie, I don't think it suits Scott Lang's character too much. It doesn't. So that was a little bit disappointing in this movie and that. We'll go into my dislikes now, because I won't really put Paul Rudd in my dislikes. It's kind of an in-between, that is. But I wasn't a big fan of MODOK, to be honest, and that is the visual thing, because it is the guy who played... Oh, I forgot his name now. The main bad guy from the first Ant-Man, whose yellow jacket, is back in this, and he is MODOK. He is. But I think MODOK's really hard to pull off in a live-action movie. He is, and the face just didn't suit it at all. Unfortunately, that was the only visual effects that really took me out a bit of the movie. I think MODOK looked a lot better when he had his mask down and that, and I think he was a lot better with the mask. He has like a helmet type thing to come down over his face. But yeah, the face, just the visuals and that really did kind of put me off for parts of that movie. But that's the only visual things I have a problem with. The rest of the visuals I think was really done really well in the movie. I was a little bit disappointed as well with Hope Van Dyne's character and Janet Van Dyne and Hank Pym. They're in it, and they're in it quite a bit, but they don't really... I don't think they delve into that story enough, especially Hope Van Dyne. They really sidebench her in this movie, unfortunately, and all. I know this is Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she is kind of sidelined quite a bit in this movie. I did like the story of the Janet Van Dyne and Kang the Conqueror, and her rebellion against him and all that while she was in the quantum realm. You get some little bits of that, but like again, they don't delve into it that much in this movie. I wanted to see more of that. I did, so I was a little bit disappointed with them. The jokes as well. I know these are jokey movies. These are more comedy than Antman, but I've seen a lot of it in movies these days, especially horror movies, where you have a nice suspenseful horror moment or a very action scene, you know, very suspenseful moment and all. And you get a couple of them in this movie, and then they bring a joke in, and it kind of takes it away from it and all that. Like I said, Murdoch gets a couple of jokes in it. I don't expect him to have jokes, to be honest. I want him to be a bad guy, really menacing bad guy, but unfortunately, you don't get it with that. And yeah, and it's the same as like Scott Lang. You get some serious moments, and then it's like a joke thrown in, and it kind of takes you out of the moment. It does, and I was very disappointed with that. And like I said, they have an ending to this where I honestly thought it was going to go one way, but for me, I really think they really shit out of this ending and all, what they could have done, and had a very emotional scene towards the end, but they kind of throw it out of the window then, to be honest. And then you kind of get like a bit of what you think is going to happen in the later movies, let's say, and that. But yeah, I honestly do. I can't say what they shit out on without spoiling the movie. But if you've seen it, I'm hoping you understand what I mean and all that. So, but yeah, the jokes and and they shit out with the ending. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing with that. But overall, I did enjoy it. Even though them little they're not bad. I would give this movie a 6 or a 7. I think a 6.5 is perfect for this movie, right down the middle. For me personally, I think it's the weakest one out of the Ant-Man movies. I do prefer the other two to this one, but I think this is a solid start to Phase 5 and thing, and hopefully we get somewhere with this phase. Cause I think that's a lot of things from last season and all the thing, because last phase 4, we just had movie after movie, and they're all good. They're all like their own little singular movies and all that. They kind of intertwined with the I think they were trying to do the multiverse pretty much with the last phase, but they didn't really have an end goal, I don't think, for where they were going with it. But hopefully with this one now, because you've got Kang the Conqueror now in this, and we had him in Loki in Phase 4 series. It is. I think they've got their way now of the multiverse. Kang, we get into where the last two Avengers movies come out. I think they've got a direction now, and I really can't wait to get to them movies after seeing Jonathan Majors play his version of Kang, which I think is still amazing. So yeah, definitely, I think a 6.5 out of 10 is a reasonable score for this. I don't agree with the Rotten Tomatoes where it's like 40-odd%. I think that's a load of shit, personally. I think Marvel have become, the MCU have become a punching bag now of just people hating on it for no reason. They'll say, oh, they hate it for different reasons, but I think only because it's been out for so long. It's been going for 10 plus years. So I think people, some people might have got a little bored of it, but I think a lot of haters are just hating on it just because of what it is at the end of the day. But I do recommend you go and see it, and I personally can't wait to see it when it comes out on 4K. I think it's going to look absolutely stunning on the TV. So yeah, go and see it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought of the movie, or if you're going to go and see it. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.